Tyler Sumner here from the Three Count Podcast, in unison with the Swiss Sports Show. Quick disclaimer, this video was recorded before the unfortunate injury of CM Punk, which caused him to be out for 6 months now. So with that being said, anything you hear in this video about CM Punk is not going to be happening because he is hurt. He tore his tricep during the Royal Rumble match. With that being said, enjoy the video, guys. Welcome, everybody, to the Three Count Podcast. I am your host, Tyler Sumner, host of the Swiss Sports Show. And joining me today are my two outstanding wrestling guests. First of all, Jacksonville Jaguars streamer. You can catch him on the Floodster Sports Zone everywhere you find him, on Instagram, Twitter, all of that, even on YouTube. Mr. Grant Flood. Grant, how are you?
I'm doing quite good, Tyler. I'm ready to talk about some wrestling after a very exciting Royal Rumble.
And to my right, which will be your guys' left on the stream, the one and only host of all your Bruins live streams, the Adrian Wojnarowski of the Three Count Podcast.
What?
Mr. Sam Smith. Sam, how are you?
Hell of an intro. Hey, I'm doing good. I'm excited to talk wrestling here. Royal Rumble just passed. Hell of a show. We're on the road to WrestleMania. Best time of the year. Let's go.
Yeah, and let's get right into that, the Royal Rumble. First of all, we are slated for one of the biggest roads to WrestleMania that we've ever seen. And keyword that I said there, roads to WrestleMania, that we've seen for a long time. But it's WrestleMania 40, nonetheless. We had some major debuts in the WWE. We had some major returns in the WWE, and we're going to get into that right now. Let's start with the Women's Royal Rumble match, guys. First of all, Grant, give me your overall review of the match, and what did you like about it?
Personally, I thought the Women's Rumble was the best match of the night. Bayley got her well-deserved win. I mean, you see Becky win the Rumble. You see Bianca. You see Charlotte. You're kind of missing that one member from that 2016 call-up, other than Sasha, that hasn't won one yet, and might as well give it to the one who was stuck with the company the whole way through so far, that being Bayley. I think that is going to be a tremendous story. She's already said on Twitter that she will be going after Rhea Ripley. Now, I think that's really interesting, and I think there's a lot of storytelling there to tell for the next 2 to 3 months. As for the biggest surprise of the match, I definitely say Jade Cargill. She really did a great job. She got over with the crowd instantly, and I think her and Nia Jax could be set up for a very interesting feud down the road.
Yeah, I agree, and I kind of want to piggyback off of what Grant said about Jade Cargill here, and I turn to my analyst, Sam Smith. Sam, you know, what you said something to me when we were talking about this with Jade at first. She's being used and showcased as a superstar, which she wasn't in the company that we do not mention here on the Three Count Podcast, just because it is a horrible, horrible company. Yeah. They will never finish their story.
It's poorly run. It's not that
Okay.
It's a horrible company, that it's poorly run.
Yes, poorly run by a guy who just...
Can I say it? His father, can he please sell the team? Like, I don't want him as a Jaguars owner anymore. Both cons, dislike them both.
Anyways,
as a Jaguar fan, I could say that.
Anyways, back to Jade Cargill here. Sam, I think we got a China-type level superstar in Jade Cargill now.
I would have to agree. I mean, I originally would have said that it was Rhea, but I think Jade has an aura around her that Rhea doesn't have, and that's not a bad thing for Rhea. I think Jade just has that look to her. I mean, you saw the Rumble. You saw how easy it was for her to throw Nia over the top rope, and flexed on her when she picked her up on her shoulders in the fireman's carry. I think Jade is being presented as a superstar, as a main event superstar right off the bat. And personally, I was saying this to him earlier, that if they book Jade right, she could be a world champion within a year if they just do it right. And I think under Triple H, and not a mark, I think that she can be actually used right. I think the Performance Center training did her wonders, because she kind of came in a little inexperienced. She gained experience with time, which was great. But I think she needed a little bit of fine-tuning her in-ring skills. Her promo is fine. Her character is fine. I think she just needed a little bit of in-ring work training, and she got that, and she looks awesome now. And I think in the 10 minutes we saw her in WWE, she was already presented as a bigger star than any of the times she was working for AEW. That's what I think. So Jade is a superstar, and I hope that we get that certain dream match with Bianca at WrestleMania this year.
Yeah, I couldn't agree with you more here. And one thing I do want to ask you, Grant, with Jade Cargill in the WWE now, we know that the dream match is Bianca, right? The one thing I'm worried about what they're going to do with Jade Cargill is use her as a part-timer. We do not need Jade Cargill to become Roman Reigns or CM Punk.
Right.
Okay? This women's division needs Jade.
Yep.
And the reason I say that is not to say that the women's division is bad, but this women's division has come such a long way. Jade is going to take it to the next level of evolution for the women.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely.
You know, and Grant, I asked you this. How much of an impact is Jade going to make for this women's division?
I think already right away she has. I mean, she's already done a spectacular job in the Rumble, and we've seen in AEW she can be one of the most powerful women in the company if booked correctly. I think she has obviously a bright future. I think in the Rumble they've already set up feuds with Nia Jax and Bianca Belair later this year, obviously eliminating Jax as we mentioned before, and then the stare down with Bianca that gave me goosebumps. It is a dream match, and it's certainly something that WWE is going to take advantage of, I think. I know Triple H loves his long storytelling, his long-term booking, and that's great in some aspects, but in this aspect, the pot is hot. You got to strike with Jade Cargill as quickly as possible. I think after a short stint with Nia Jax, you could go into facing Bianca at Mania.
Yeah, and if I may here, Sam, I think another thing, too, is sometimes we've been known that Triple H likes to blue ball us as fans. Mm-hmm. He does. But I think in this aspect, he's got his hands full with Jade. I think, number one, what you do is you have Jade versus Nia at the Elimination Chamber. Give Jade her first big singles match. Not to mention in front of a foreign crowd.
Almost 50,000 people.
50,000 people.
Yep.
Jade versus Nia will be talked about. It'll give Nia Jax a match that will be talked about for the first time in her career.
I don't know. Her match with Alexa at WrestleMania all those years ago was awesome to me. I thought it was a great match. I don't know.
But
First time in a while.
yeah, first time in a long time. And not to talk about a hole.
Uh-oh.
So if you know, you know.
Oh, boy.
But to say the least, I think that's what you do with Jade. You have her face Nia at the Chamber, and then you go right into a feud with Bianca. Because personally, I think until the draft, Jade should bounce back as a free agent between Raw and SmackDown. I think that's how she gets booked. Because, again, the question would be, if Jade just stays on Raw, how does she get to Bianca?
Right. Exactly.
How does that happen? Because Bianca's not a world champion. Maybe you have Bianca in the Chamber and Jade pulls Bianca out of the Chamber, kind of like Logan Paul did to Seth to set that match up.
Yeah.
You know? So I think what Triple H is going to do is he's going to long-term storytell with this. If we don't get Bianca versus Jade at Mania, will I be disappointed? Yes. But you can also use that as a SummerSlam match to give more time to build up the feud.
Absolutely.
You know, and Grant, I asked, Sam, I asked you this. How do you think Triple H should go into addressing this potential dream match with Bianca Belair and Jade Cargill?
It's quite simple. I think you kind of nailed it with her being presented as a free agent. Have her do the match with Nia at Chamber, which I think is what they're going to do. And I think that's going to be awesome. It's going to be a great attraction for that Australian crowd. If any of you are going to be there in Australia for Elimination Chamber, hope you enjoy that. I think they're going to present Jade as the first legitimate threat to Nia Jax in a long time. I think Jade goes over against Nia, and then she's a free agent, so she marches her way to SmackDown and starts her feud with Bianca Belair, and then they announce the dream match, Jade and Bianca at WrestleMania. Hey, it could be as simple as Jade goes on the mic, hey, I challenge you to a match at WrestleMania. Or you can say, like, this is a match I've wanted for a long time. You could go into so many different ways you can book that, but I think that's what they're going to do. You have to, Grant said, you have to strike while the iron's hot. And it's something that the people want. It's something that us as wrestling fans want to see. I think that's what they should do. Jade and Bianca at WrestleMania. That could be a fantastic match for night 1 or night 2. I don't care. I just want to see it. And I think it could steal the weekend, to be honest.
Yeah, and I think, speaking of night 2, it's a good time to bring you guys some breaking news. Myself and Sam have been talking about this. We are doing a night 2 watch party, possibly on the YouTube channel of Sam Smith, live streaming our reaction to it.
We've been talking about it. I'll ask my viewers and see what they think.
We've been talking about, because we're going to be here for night 2, as some of us have 8 a.m. classes on the Monday. But myself, Grant, Sam, our friend that you guys haven't met yet, who we're hoping to get on someday, Harrison, and Brendan will be here to join us. If you guys remember him from a couple of episodes ago on the 3 Count Podcast, he was our CM Punk enthusiast. But nonetheless, that's the big news that we have to share with you guys about that.
We're talking about it.
It's a work in progress. It's a work in progress. But now let's transition into another surprise in the Women's Royal Rumble before we get to the big surprise I think everybody was also talking about besides Jade Cargill. Jordynne Grace.
Hey.
Big Mama Pump. Coming over from TNA. Correct. We're not calling it Impact anymore. TNA, who just beat Naomi for the TNA Women's Knockouts Championship on this past Thursday, coming into the Royal Rumble. And guys, Jordynne Grace had an impressive showing.
I mean, she absolutely did. I really only pay attention to WWE, but that was one of the TNA names I was a little familiar with, and she stole the show. Obviously, if it wasn't for Jade and whatnot, she could have been the biggest surprise of the match. And, I mean, she was just so powerful. I was hoping that because she beat Naomi for the title, they would have had a little bit more interaction in the ring. That would have been cool to see for both, I think, WWE and TNA. But overall, her performance was incredible. And the fact she got eliminated by Bianca, too, I think that also builds a little character as well, getting eliminated by one of the top women in the business.
Yeah, Sam, thoughts on Jordynne Grace?
I am more familiar with Jordynne Grace. I've seen some of her stuff on the Indies and in TNA and all that. I think I immediately recognize the music, the sirens going off, and I've seen her stuff. I'm like, oh my god, that's Jordynne Grace. I think that was a really cool surprise. I didn't know about it at all. I think I couldn't have seen that coming from a mile away. I think having TNA's Knockouts champion in the Royal Rumble again is really cool.
WWE name, by the way.
Yeah, right, because the first time it was Mickie James. We all know who Mickie James was before. Jordynne Grace, that gives TNA a little bit of mainstream exposure, which is good because they're back as TNA. I'd say they're probably doing a little better than AEW right now when it comes to storytelling and week-to-week TV. I did enjoy Hard to Kill. I watched some of the clips on social media. I think it looked like a really good show. I think that Jordynne Grace is going to be in WWE one day, and I think that there's some unfinished business with her and Bianca, especially after that brutal bump that she took, that KOD on the apron, and Jordynne goes down. Brutal. That is a brutal way to be eliminated, but it's also like a really badass way to get eliminated. Like, hey, it took that to eliminate me, which gives TNA some credibility, and I think that's awesome. And I hope to see WWE and TNA work together more. Maybe down the line, I pitched this to one of my friends. How about we have WWE versus TNA at a Survivor Series one year? Or maybe we have more TNA crossovers. I think How about their world champion? Oh my God, what's his name?
Moose.
Well, that's not. Well, he's not the world champion. How about? Oh, yes, it is. Yeah, he is their world champion. How about Moose against
Roman.
Roman or Cody or Seth or
Or
somebody?
Randy.
Oh yeah, Randy. Yeah,
McIntyre, maybe?
yeah, yeah. I was thinking it was somebody else. I'm
You were
chirping
thinking,
out.
Nick.
Well, hey, Nick Nemeth.
Not that Nick. The other Nick. Saban.
Oh, Chris Sabin.
Chris Saban. Yeah,
He's a
that
part.
guy.
He's their X Division champion right now. But hey, there's so many opportunities, and TNA and WWE are on good terms for the first time ever. And I think they need to strike while the iron's hot. We should put that the name of this video. Strike while the iron's hot, because I think
I think that's a great title.
TNA and WWE working together is going to be good for business.
Yeah, and you had mentioned, like, when we didn't even know this before, Sam, you had mentioned that when you showed us in a group chat, Triple H was at Hard to Kill.
Well, there was rumors that he was there. There was a picture that he was there. It was later confirmed to not be him, unfortunately. But hey, you know, the fact that even where people were talking about it was pretty cool. And apparently, I think they struck on it with getting Jordynne Grace. Apparently, it was a Triple H idea to even have her in the Rumble. So to think that Triple H knows who she is, number one, and number two, realizes that, hey,
This girl's got talent.
this girl's got talent, and that he mentioned in the post show that in the press conference that, hey, this girl's got amazing talent. She had a great performance out there. The fact that he said that, the top executive of the WWE said that about a TNA girl, she is going to be a huge star in our industry, and I think she'll be in WWE one day, and she could even win a Rumble a few years down the road.
Now let's get into the major return of the Women's Royal Rumble. Number 2, and it made sense too. Naomi made her long-awaited WWE return. She's back.
Yes.
Shared a moment, you know, got goosebumps from it. You know, she cried a little bit.
That crowd, though.
With Rightful, and that was a perfect crowd for her. Guys, Naomi's back.
All right.
And Mr. Flood, I ask you this. 1, do you feel the glow? 2nd, what's next for Naomi?
Well, I felt the glow right away, because knowing that Natalya came in at number 1, Naomi came in at number 2, they are best friends in real life, so it only made sense for Naomi to come back in the ring with someone she has fantastic ring chemistry with. I thought that was a great idea. Also, coming out at number 2, you have a lengthy intro, so they were able to dim the lights and have the glow, and the crowd really got into it, and that was awesome. As for future storytelling, I don't know if she's going to be a free agent or not at the moment. I probably see her going to Raw, and I think there could be a couple of very decent feuds that she could have over there. Maybe Jade. Maybe she gets thrown to the women's tag team division again. You never know. She was very successful with Sasha Banks previously with that. So I think there's a lot of limits, but I think they're going to book her much better this time around, knowing that she was able to prove herself in a different company in TNA, which she did wonderful work for the past year.
Yep.
I think they're going to know how to book her better this second coming.
I'm just going to hand the microphone off to Mr. Smith because he looks like he wants to yap about Naomi back.
I am so freaking excited that this girl's back in the company. She was wrongfully screwed out of the company in the first place. All right? I don't blame her or Mercedes for walking out. I would have done the same thing. Anyway, that's the first thing.
In case you don't get what our vibe is here, we do not like Vince McMahon.
Well, that's
Wow,
another
that's a little-
that's another thing we could talk about for another story for another day. But yeah, it was a whole situation. If you don't know about it, they walked out as the tag champs because they weren't being booked properly, and I would have done the same thing if I had found out what was going on. But Mercedes went to New Japan. Trinity or Naomi went to TNA, did some awesome work there for just under a year. Helped TNA get back on their path to success, comes back to WWE. That pop she got at the Rumble when her music hit, it was really cool to hear that music again. It was really cool to see her back. We all popped at your house when she came out. We all were like, "Oh my God, it's Naomi!" We were like really excited to see her. I think that she needs to be used as a superstar right away. Put her in a title feud. I'm not even kidding. Put her against Io. Put her against Rhea at the Chamber. I don't care what they decide to do. I think that they need to strike. Naomi's a superstar. She was just a Knockouts champion, you know? Make TNA legit and make her a WWE title threat.
Strike while the iron's hot.
See, exactly. Strike while the iron's hot. TNA and WWE need to have a legitimate friendship. So, you know what they're gonna do? Have Naomi go into a title feud right away.
I like that.
Have Naomi just step up and go to Io.
Naomi versus Io at Chamber.
Book it. I just read something that Rhea's gonna defend her title in the Chamber, I guess. So, at Elimination Chamber, which is interesting, but we'll see what they do there. I think Naomi and Io for the title could be really interesting. I don't think Naomi should win.
Oh, by no means, no.
And back to you were saying about Bayley. I'm gonna back up. Bayley challenging Rhea. We all know Bayley's gonna face Io.
Of course.
Yeah, no.
That's why I'm just bringing it up. She's going along with the story of she's not going to betray Io yet, and that's good. Build the feud.
I think they all turn on Bayley. This is going to be a generational babyface turn for Bayley here.
Especially since Asuka and they just won the tag team championship back on Friday. You see, they wasted no time with Kairi Sane, right?
Yeah, Kairi Sane, yeah.
They wasted no time with her. Back for a couple of months, they won her a belt. I mean, do the same with potentially Naomi or Bayley at Mania.
Yeah, and if I may, Sam.
Yeah.
You kind of saw it in the Royal Rumble as we make our transition here. Asuka kind of showed a lot of heelish sides to Bayley.
Yeah.
Not helping her out in the Rumble, just walking away laughing at Bayley. You know, so I think the heel turn could be coming Friday night. I think it's going to happen very soon, within the next 2 to 3 weeks.
I like where he's going with this. I like it.
You have to build up the story.
It has to make sense.
Have the heel turn happen and let it build up. Let it build up.
I agree.
Congratulations to Bayley.
Hey.
Hey.
Oh, well, that's not what I meant by that.
Hey,
Okay.
Bayley. Ooh. Ha. I want to know, will you win the title?
Yes, she will. Da-na-na-na.
All right, let's transition into the Fatal 4-Way. Why did this match need Solo?
All right.
Cue Roman Reigns' clip. Solo!
Now here's another thing that I like to show you. It's a nice meme. I'll send it to you so you can put it in the video. That's a nice title match you seem to be winning. Be a shame if someone were to interfere. And it's just
Can we see this so we can show the camera?
So it's just a picture of oh my, I almost just fell. It's just a picture of 3 pictures of Solo Sikoa. There it is. That's unfortunate.
All right. So the match overall was great, I think, in my opinion. It was quick. It was good. I mean, I wouldn't say great, but it was good. It did not need...
Okay.
It did not need Solo. I think that's what the major problem. You take away Solo from this match is good.
Can I see this
And I want to talk about a couple of spots from the match. That RKO from Randy to Roman,
Yeah.
better than the JD McDonough RKO.
Well, yeah, because it took forever for them to set it up for JD. This one came out of nowhere. Can I see the microphone? I have a bone to pick with WWE.
All right,
right
go
now.
ahead.
Okay. First of all, the match was not good. It wasn't good. The match was awful. Okay, the only good spots were the RKOs. I think this was probably one of Roman's worst title matches in this reign, personally, and it shouldn't have been.
I just liked when they all went to team up on Roman at the beginning.
Yeah, that was pretty cool,
take
but
out the big threat.
But the problem is, you had 4 good big names. You had Roman, obviously. You had Randy. You had AJ. You had LA Knight. That should have been good. The match was too short. I think the match was lackluster.
It was presented by Slim Jim.
They had Slim Jim on the advertising. This is a Roman Reigns title defense, guys. Why is this being sponsored by Slim Jim?
It should have been the main event.
I disagree with that.
Well,
it should have
it should've
opened.
been after-
Owens Paul, if anything.
It should have been. It should have opened the show, to be honest. But it was lackluster. I think Solo being there was useless. I don't.
What was that quote that Santi said that we just saw about Roman Reigns matches?
This is why I hate Roman Reigns title matches. Why is Solo there? Good question, Santi. I don't know either. Because why can't this dude win clean anymore? Name me the last time either of you. Name me the last time Roman won a match clean. Insert Jeopardy music. This is gonna take a while.
Was it the SmackDown defense against Riddle back in like 2022?
Nope.
Did
Jimmy
he
came
win
out for that.
Oh, he did. Really?
Yep. I believe
Oh,
so.
wow.
Nope. Tyler?
Was it against Edge at Money in the Bank?
No. Because?
Was it against Cesaro?
No.
Really? It even took him to cheat against Cesaro? Oh my god.
Was it against Balor?
Nope.
Oh
Because
my
the rings
God.
broke and it was a screw
Was
job.
it against Cena at SummerSlam?
No, because Paul Heyman got involved.
Was it against Brock at Mania 38?
He technically
Kinda.
clean.
Yeah,
He
guys,
technically did.
it has been 2 years since Roman's won a match clean. It's the don't mind my language. You can bleep this. It's the same shit every freaking time he fights.
We don't need to believe that.
It's the same shit. Every time Roman defends the belt, he has Jimmy, Jay, he had Solo, he had Paul. Every time. Why? Why do you need Solo? It doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense. Have him win a match clean for once. Which is why I think this could be the generational move when Cody beats Roman this year. We'll get into that later, but why does he need Solo to win? That's what, it's just dumb to me. Grant, what do you got? Jeez.
And I said it right when we were watching it live, Sam. The match was lackluster, but more so than anything, Solo interference wasn't necessary. It is a fatal four-way.
Right.
There is no need for interference because it is a no disqualification match, technically. Why is Solo getting involved when Orton is going in for the match-winning pin? I get it. Oh, Roman's knocked out of the ring. Let Solo or Jimmy or back when Jay was a heel, have him just, I don't know, throw the referee out of the ring. It's old. It's stale. Have Paul Heyman jump on the apron and make a scene. It's getting old and it's getting ridiculous. This is a four-way. You could have even had something like Orton hits Styles with an RKO and then Knight hits Orton with the BFT and then Roman spears Knight out of nowhere and wins that way. You could have just had the final minute be a finisher fest and Roman wins off a spear clean.
Right.
They could have done this interesting. They could have had Orton set up for the RKO, Roman counters, spear 1, 2, 3. There's numerous ways they could have gone about this.
They could have done.
But they took the lazy route.
You know, you know what they
Again.
could have done, guys? You know what they could have done? They could have had Orton hit the RKO on LA Knight or AJ Styles, have Roman come in, throw Randy out of the ring, Roman pins him. I've seen that before in multi-man matches.
Sure.
Yeah, and I think another thing too here, and to correct your question about Roman winning the last time clean, the Bloodline did get involved in that Roman Brock match because I remember Jay tripped up Brock underneath the rope.
I don't remember that.
So
So the last time I think was the I Quit match, right?
the last time if that's the case, then the last time Roman won a match clean was against you guys ready for this? It wasn't Kevin Owens in that last man standing match at the Rumble a few years ago. Nope. You know who it was? It was against Kevin Owens in a tables, ladders, and chairs match.
What was that?
TLC 2020. That was over 3 years ago, guys.
And this is a record-breaking world champion? Give me a break.
The only reason this guy is having a world championship breaking title, whatever, is because
the Usos and Solo Sikoa having the world championship.
it's because of interference every time, which is why we'll get into this later, but which is why when the story is finished and Roman drops the belt, it's going to be generational. Because it'll be the first time that Roman has been in a match where it hasn't ended with interference. Well, there's probably still will be interference, but it's going to screw him over, right? But it won't be interference to side with Roman, right? It's just dumb. Dumb. Lazy.
Thank you, my tribal Sam.
Oh, God, no. That's the only time he'll ever say that. No, Grant,
Acknowledge it.
Put your finger back.
No, yeah, I agree with you here. In every bit of the sense that, it's getting ridiculous at this point. They're overdoing it. And I don't know if it's something because of Roman's body that he just needs some help to get through the match to recuperate. But nonetheless, this is your face of the company right now. This is the guy. This is the guy who's carried the company on his back for the better part of 4 years.
Have him win a match clean once in a while.
Have him win a match clean. You're telling me Roman Reigns cannot beat Cesaro clean?
What about Riddle?
You're telling me Riddle.
Even Brock. He's been
Hell,
clean before.
I hate the way that the match ended against Seth. That match should have ended with a pinfall. That could have... If Papa H booked that match, one, it wouldn't have been booked at Royal Rumble. That would have been a Mania main event. Mm-hmm. That match would have gone a half hour, if not longer.
Yep.
Because there is so much story there. Nonetheless, I've said this. I've been vocal about it. Roman's in my top 10 of all time. That's my opinion. This title reign, as much as we don't like the title reign anymore, we cannot ignore the fact that when it first happened, we were loving it. We were loving it.
It was when he became a part-timer is what killed him.
Exactly. Like, the height of the Bloodline storyline, the whole Bloodline storyline throughout, arguably will go down in history as the greatest storyline in WWE history. I think, with that being said. And we're going to talk about Mania 40 with Roman Reigns in a little bit because there's a lot surrounding that of what's going to happen and everything like that. Getting into the United States Championship match.
Lazy.
I'm going to say this right now. Insert the meme of the kid in the back seat of the car. Oh, bullshit!
Lazy.
Lazy booking. It was a good match overall, but lazy booking to finish it. I have my pick of who's going to beat Logan Paul at WrestleMania. Again, we will give you our WrestleMania predictions later on in this podcast because we have some, I wouldn't say way too early, but early Mania predictions for it. I think Logan Paul will defend at Elimination Chamber again against Kevin Owens.
There's
still a story to be told.
With the disqualification, you're bound to get a rematch.
Yeah, I agree with that. Kevin Owens, got to give him a little time now to heal with that hand. But yeah, we don't even need to spend much time on this match.
Can I just say one thing?
Yeah, go ahead.
I'll say one thing too after.
There should never, ever be a disqualification in a pay-per-view or a premium live event match ever. No.
Or a count out.
Or a count out. It's lazy, it's boring, and it doesn't make sense. Why did you present that as one of your premier matches of the night, yet have it end in a brutal disqualification because the referee saw brass knuckles? We're Triple H or whoever booked that match decision, let's be serious for a second. I never saw any of that with Black and Gold NXT. Never. The match ended a pinfall. If Logan beat Kevin clean, I'd be like, all right, good match, next. The fact we're even spending time on this is lazy. Lazy. Why did a random thumbs up thing pop up on the screen? I'm very confused. Hey! It was...
this match ending?
thumbs down. That's all I say about that. That's lazy. Grant?
I will say this: the ending was lazy because I 100% agree with Sam. If a premium live event match ends in a count out or disqualification, match wasn't good enough to be on the card to begin with.
Correct.
Especially on a card with 4 matches. I digress. I will say, we've already seen Logan hit brass knuckles on Ricochet and Rey Mysterio. Do we want to see the same exact ending 3 straight Logan Paul matches?
No.
I am personally okay with Kevin giving the brass knuckles to Paul and the referee catching him at the last second. Better than, I guess, Paul doing it and just going 1, 2, 3. But this is where I question, when the hell are wrestling officials that smart and that proactive?
That's awesome.
Call me nuts. I'm going to be honest. Have Owens win that match and then give the title back to Paul on SmackDown. Someone comes out there and says, Kevin, you cheated. You get your rematch at the Elimination Chamber. But because you cheated, we have to revoke the title back to Paul. They could even have done something like that and kept us on our toes. But instead, referee 1, 2.5, brass knuckles disqualification. They could have went many different ways with this ending.
What are you, Roman? Twirling abracadabra.
Yeah, I agree with you guys. This match was kind of lackluster. In the words of Maxwell Jacob Friedman.
Mid.
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 Men's Royal Rumble match. Let's talk about it.
Not mid.
Not mid, but not the best. I've seen better.
Mm-hmm.
And before we even get into the match itself, I think the reason that we had such high expectations for this match was, number one, the overall big free agent looming, who was rumored to be in this, Okada.
Yeah.
Maxwell Jacob Friedman was a rumor.
Yeah.
Rock was a rumor. I know this guy to the left of me, right on your screen, was high on convinced that we were gonna get Hulk Hogan, brother.
He was teasing it.
Grant, people tease things all the time. The Dallas Cowboys tease of going to the Super Bowl every year, but do they ever finish the story? No.
Yeah.
Okay.
He's making fun of his own team.
Yeah, that's how we deal with depression, being Cowboys fans over here. Anyways, so it was a good Rumble. I'll give it that.
Yep.
I think the really only surprise, main shock factor of the match wasn't even really a shock factor because we knew it was going to happen. El Idolo is back.
Andrade
Cien Almas is back. And I'm going to hand it off to Sam here to talk about Andrade for a little bit.
Hey, this guy, man, wow, he has been screwed over in the past 2 stints. He was screwed over in WWE with his booking, and he went to AEW, thought it was going to be better. Well, it was worse. Grant's got butterfingers for hands. It was, in fact, worse. However, I think him being presented in WWE, the way he was at the Royal Rumble, is good. The crowd knew who he was when he came out. They're like, "Oh, we all popped at your house, Grant." When Andrade, we were like, "Oh my God, it's Andrade! That's so cool!" And it's cool to see him back. I hope they use him right. He is a main event superstar talent. I think they just have to book him properly. Andrade is a good ad for WWE. I think bringing him back is only going to be a good thing, I think, as long as they book him properly. That's what I think about that. So, Andrade, welcome back, buddy.
Indeed, welcome back, Andrade. Now, I didn't think it was the official call-up yet, but apparently it was. The meaner than evil, Braun Breaker, who, folks, interesting stat, by the way. Michael Cole said this if you watch the Rumble. Braun Breaker is faster than Tyreek Hill.
What?
He hits, when he runs it to hit the ropes, he hits it at 23 miles an hour.
That is nuts.
Tyreek Hill runs at 22.8.
A man that size should not be running that fast.
He has the best spear of all time, I think.
He definitely cuts people in half. It's the most devastating looking spear, that's for sure, because he just runs right at you and just, especially if it's sold properly, when you just go straight back.
I agree.
Sold so well.
The thing we never got, Dolph Ziggler selling a breaker spear.
Well, you got Goldberg, so it was a
We
hell
got
of a spear,
Goldberg, yeah.
so it's all right.
So I want to talk about Braun Breaker now with the main roster because we pointed this out, and of course the allegations with Vince McMahon came out.
You want
Which
to talk about
screw that guy. But another name that's involved with those allegations. Why does the thumb keep popping up?
I don't know.
Like, is this Solo Sikoa giving us signs? Like, nonetheless, Brock Lesnar was involved in those allegations as well.
Yep.
The reason they had, it was revealed the reason Pat McAfee came out at that spot because spot was supposed to be Brock's. But now,
What a waste.
what a waste! But now we got Braun Breaker on the main roster, and guys, I'm gonna go full fledged and say I think the Mania match now should be Braun Breaker versus Gunther for the Intercontinental Championship. I think Gunther will
Yes.
lose to Braun Breaker.
Yes.
How
Do
many?
it.
Now, how many spears will it take?
3.
4.
Okay, fair enough.
Usually things come in threes, but 4, whatever floats your boat, I suppose. I think I love that, and that's a dream match, 100%. Braun Breaker, again, I don't watch NXT as frequently as I will watch a regular episode
But
of
you
Raw
know
or
who he is.
SmackDown. But Braun Breaker was pretty much next to Trick Williams. He is my favorite NXT superstar, and the fact that we were able to see Trick on SmackDown and then Braun on Saturday, I mean, it was awesome. It looks like Carmelo Hayes might be getting that major call up too in the near future. A lot of the NXT guys who have been really running the show down there for the last year are finally going to get called up, and it's really awesome to see. Breaker in particular, never in my wildest dreams did I think he would be as fast as Tyreek Hill, but he is more scary than him and a lot of other men in that ring because his spear is, I agree, one of the best I've seen. I think better than Roman, better than Goldberg. I think it rivals Edge in terms of how good that spear
It rivals
is.
Rhino's gore.
And he is just so powerful. And the fact that they had him eliminate a couple of big names right out of
Jimmy
the gate,
Uso.
like Jimmy Uso and Finn Balor, some of the top heels in this company, that's how you know you're getting a good push.
Yeah, I agree. Sam, take it away.
Braun's legit. I like what you said about him facing Gunther. I think that is what they should do.
I think they teased it too. They had a stare down in the ring, and then they went at it for a little bit.
Yeah, I think, hey,
And
Gunther...
Gunther ate a spear.
He sure did. Gunter and Brock is going. Braun, is going to be a great match. I think that could be right in the middle of night one. I think that'll be a great match. One of their premier semi-main events for night one. As long as they do it right. Braun Breaker, I have never seen a talent like him. Never. I've never seen him. I've never seen a man that fast at his size. People like to say that Keith Lee is one of the most agile big men in wrestling, and he is because of how big he is and stuff like that. Braun Breaker is one of the fastest individuals I've seen in a ring. He reminds me of Brock Lesnar when it comes to his speed. Brock is a scary man. He can run a lot. Braun is the same, and with Braun having his finisher be the spear, makes sense because of his speed. I think his military press high in the air, then he slams him down with a power slam. Braun is insane. I think he's better than his father and his uncle when it comes to like in-ring work. I think
I agree.
Better than in-ring work, better than Rick and Scott Steiner. No offense to them. I think Braun's just insane right now. Braun, dude, push him all the way to the Intercontinental title. I think that's going to be a great thing. Let's do it. Keep pushing Braun. Let's go.
All right. And then number 27 comes out.
Dun dun dun. Out comes Mr. Phil. Dr. Phil.
Pepsi
comes
Phil.
out.
Pepsi Man.
Out comes Dr. Phil.
All right.
Oh God.
I like that one. I like that
That's
one.
funny.
But 27 proves to be the most cursed number in the Royal Rumble. 27 has never produced a winner.
Out comes Mr. Punk.
Out comes Punk. Punk starts off good, and then he kind of just went downhill. Like he number one, the biggest thing I noticed, he wasn't selling Gunther's chops. He was just eating them.
Mm.
That's a no-no in this business. You sell Gunther's chops because, you know what I mean? I don't know how to feel about Punk anymore, right at this moment. Obviously, very skilled mic worker. I learned a lot of my talking skills from CM Punk. Thank you, Phil. I'm pretty sure we're universally on this right now, the three of us in this room. Punk's going heel.
Yeah.
Punk's going heel. I think we get Cody versus Punk at Chamber.
I don't.
I
but
don't at all, but
That should be saved when Cody has the title, I think, personally. but-
yeah.
Okay, that's fair enough.
They both win the title and have a champion versus champion match down the road.
At Survivor
Survivor
Series.
Survivor
Book
Series.
it.
There
Who
we
let
go.
the question continues? Who let Flood cook?
I can cook occasionally, just a little bit.
Throw some Korean spice and garlic in there. So I don't know, man, because this a lot of us had Punk as the favorite.
As you.
But we had Rhodes as the runner-up too.
Right.
So
Gunther was also in that conversation, like
Yeah, of course he
being
was.
favorite.
right.
Of course he was. After last year, of
and,
course he
and the
was.
final three were
Were-
the right final three.
Right.
Yep.
The
Now
Final Four, the right Final Four.
here's the thing. How does Punk get to Seth? Very simple.
He wins.
Very
the
simple.
He wins the chamber.
He wins the chamber, but he's a full blood heel. He is a full blown heel at this point. I think tonight Punk will be on Raw,
He is supposed to be, yes.
and
He's
I think
advertised.
tonight, for the first time since this run that Punk's been back, we get Crisscross Punk in the ring.
Uh-oh.
I think
Uh-oh.
Punk starts off the show like that.
I think Rhodes is opening up the show tonight.
Cody will open up the show, but then I think out comes Punk, and they have a heated war of words. Punk says he's proud of him, but then Punk takes a cheap shot at Rhodes.
Low blow. Well,
We're getting a Punk heel turn tonight, I think. They teased it because if you heard the audio from the Rumble, I believe Punk said, "I didn't wait 10 years just to lose to Dusty's kid."
and in that moment, when he said that, I
Me
literally
and
said
Sam
out
collectively
Cody's
were like,
winning.
Yeah, Cody won.
I literally said out loud, "Oh, well, Cody's winning, isn't he?" Because, as one of our favorite YouTubers, Christian Miracle, likes to say, monologuing is a villain's biggest weakness.
Yep.
Is monologuing as the heel. Yeah, you don't say that.
And there was a quote by rapper Jay-Z who once said,
What?
no, let me finish because it makes sense
Uh-oh.
with the case of CM Punk.
Oh, no.
Die a hero or live long enough to see yourself become the villain.
Oh. I thought
Punk
it
was a
something
hero. Punk was a hero in 2011. He left the company, became a villain.
He's a villain. Oh shit.
Came
That
back,
makes
quote
sense.
unquote, said hero. His WrestleMania hopes died at the Rumble. Now he's going to become a villain.
I thought you were going to say something stupid with that.
too.
I was really concerned. I was like, oh, no. Yeah. Monologuing is the villain's biggest weakness. You don't say that during in that moment.
The other funny mic'd up moment though was when
My phone
he
is down.
said.
Uh-oh.
The other funny thing though, when Punk said when he hit the pedigree and he said, "Holy shit! Can you believe I just did that?" That was funny. And then I'm thinking, okay, he's still kind of a tweener. And then he said that line right when he was about to throw Cody out, and that's why I said,
No,
"Uh-oh."
wherever it is.
But also, it's not an uh-oh. It was an uh-oh that Punk isn't winning the Rumble. But it was oh my God, welcome back, heel Punk. We didn't know. I'm not going to lie. I didn't think they were going to make a decision on Punk until after Mania, whether he was going to be a face or a heel. But you want to know what? No need to change Seth. Keep Seth as the face, Punk as the heel. Punk is the heel, wins the match, and then faces, obviously, a face Cody at Survivor Series. Champion versus champion. I think that's what you roll with moving forward.
Yeah, I completely agree here. And the boys are going to be watching Raw tonight. So, Raw after Rumble. This Raw after Rumble could be like a Raw after Mania.
It has to be a big Raw, right? It has
We're going to see Braun Breaker tonight, I think.
I hope so. If this is his main roster call-up, then I hope he's up here.
Give me a one-on-one match tonight between Braun Breaker and Chad Gable. I'll be happy.
Hey!
Ooh, that'd be nice.
That's
By the way, Chad Gable not in the Rumble?
that's a crime.
Yep. There were some people
Ridiculous.
that should have been in this Rumble that weren't.
Why was the only member of Alpha Academy to be in a Rumble match was Maxine Dupree?
My thoughts exactly.
Why?
I think you could have given LA Knight a spot in this Rumble too, because the
No.
match was earlier in the night.
No, but
Anyways,
Hey, Knight still hasn't competed in a Rumble, though. 2 years, no Rumble. That kind of sucks.
Anyways, number 30 came out. Sami Zayn, massive letdown.
Well, I
You
knew
knew once Drew was coming
Yeah.
out, you're getting Sami. Sami Zayn at number 30. In the words of Grant Flood, excuse me. This was not cinema. Okay. However, Cody winning. Grant, say the words.
cinema.
Thank you. Bang.
chef's kiss.
Cody went back to back for the first time since I believe Austin.
Yep. He joins a
An
pretty
established list.
ready? Hulk Hogan, Shawn Michaels, Stone Cold Steve Austin, and now Cody Rhodes.
Stardust, ladies and gentlemen, is a two-time Royal Rumble winner.
Boo. Dashing Cody Rhodes, the two-time Rumble winner. Of Team Rhodes Scholars.
Is a Royal
Two-time
Rumble
Royal
winner.
Rumble
Oh,
winner.
God.
Oh, come on. I'm a Damian Sandow fan.
I know
knew
you
that
are.
was
Oh.
And Grant's
God.
obsession with weird, odd wrestlers continues.
Curtis Axel was never eliminated from the 2015 Rumble.
Folks, that's what you're gonna get here on the 3 Count Podcast.
Oh,
just
boy.
three wrestling fans having a good time.
Randomness.
You know, randomness. But let's give Cody a round of applause.
Hey,
Absolutely.
You know, carrying this company on his back all 2023 while Roman was absent. Also, you got to give acknowledgement to Seth. But I'm happy for Cody, man.
yeah, it makes sense.
And
now that you think about it.
we can say this, and he knows he doesn't like to think about Dusty when he's doing his own story, but Dusty's proud of you, Cody. I think we can all agree.
Absolutely.
And if Cody happens to see this, and I'm sure I'll edit out this clip and tag him in it, Cody, from all of us at the 3 Count Podcast, we are extremely proud of you for reinventing yourself
multiple times.
multiple times, dealing with bullshittery, okay? Nonetheless, Cody, your father's proud of you.
Yeah.
Yeah, did it always seem like Dusty didn't have faith in you sometimes? Yes, but that was because Dusty believed in you. Dusty wanted you to be the best version of yourself. Heck, you can look at it like this. Bray Wyatt had to go away several times to reinvent himself and come back better versions of himself. Unfortunately, the last run of Bray ended tragically, but my point is, Cody, you know, we're proud of you, kid. And at WrestleMania, my first pick for our big match at Mania, I'm picking Cody Rhodes to finish the story and end the reign of terror.
Thank God. Yes.
Grant, who's your pick?
Yeah, I think at this point, it's almost a given having Rhodes win back-to-back. The writing's on the wall for Roman, and we've known that for a while. And maybe the reason why Solo and Jimmy continue to interfere is because maybe he's getting weaker. He has looked far more beatable in years past. We've seen Orton RKO him numerous times. We've seen Knight hit multiple BFTs on him recently.
May I say
He's
one thing
becoming
about this?
beatable. And Cody, it is his time to take that next leap forward and become the face of the company.
We've mentioned long-term storytelling, right? Before Jay pinned Roman at Money in the Bank last year,
He got pinned.
all right? He hadn't been pinned for that long for the first time in 3 years. Ever since Roman got pinned, he gets weaker and weaker.
Uh-huh.
Jay was the stone. Jay was the monkey wrench in Roman's future.
Yup.
Long-term storytelling, folks. And I strongly dislike people who say, oh, the Bloodline storyline's over. Jay beat Roman. Jay pinned Roman because of the fact when a tribal chief gets pinned, he shows vulnerability. And I'm going to cook right now because I did this at like 12:30 at night the other day.
Uh-oh. Oh, my gosh.
Oh, no.
Okay,
Oh, boy.
Sam,
Yes.
please sit up. How did WrestleMania end last year?
Roman beat Cody in the ring.
How so?
Pinfall.
By who?
By what?
Who
Interference.
costed Cody?
Solo.
Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Tyler Sumner, and I am the advocate for the 3 Count Podcast.
Oh, God.
Oh, God, he's Paul.
This is not a prediction. This is a spoiler.
Dun, dun, dun.
The way the match will end, Roman is in the corner for a spear. Long-term storytelling we like to talk about, right? Solo spikes Roman the way he did Cody. The fall of the bloodline rises. Okay? That's how that happens. Cody wins the match, finishes the story. But that's not all, because Sam was cooking at 12:45 a.m. of what's going to happen on how they set it up for next year's Mania with Dwayne.
Okay.
I feel like Sam was just thrown right into this.
I don't remember what I said at all. I think I kind of remember. So
The Rock coming out.
So the usual thing happens. Out comes Jimmy. Out comes Solo. They come running down the ramp to save Roman from trouble, right? Like they always does. Solo's about to spike Cody. Rock's music hits. Crowd goes crazy. Comes running Charles Robinson style down that ramp, all the way down there. Gets in the ring, and then all of a sudden, Rock stops Solo, looks at him. Because Rock is the real head of the table here. If we're being frank, right? Rock looked at Solo, shakes his head, says, "You're hitting the wrong guy." Spikes Roman instead. Solo hits Roman instead. Cody looks surprised. Rock gives him the nod. Cody picks up Roman. Crossroads wins the belt. Yes, would Cody win due to interference? Yes, but it makes sense why. The part with Roman is the interference has been repetitive for every title reign, for every title defense, right? This makes sense. Have the interference screw Roman over. Thanks to The Rock. The Rock comes out. He doesn't have to do a thing. All he has to do is break out his little sweat by his big-ass sprint down the ramp. Okay? That's all he has to do. He can get up there, tell Solo to spike Roman. And that turns everybody against Roman. Because you've seen it. Solo's intimidates Roman. Remember a couple weeks ago on SmackDown where Roman was getting in Jimmy's face and Solo stood up and Roman stopped completely? So Roman's scared of Solo. So imagine if Solo turns on Roman.
Well, he
And then you said Roman's going to be crying after the match.
Yeah, and then Roman's crying. The Rock gets in the ring and says, "You deserve this. I'll see you next year." Sets up Roman and Rock for WrestleMania 41. And then in the other match, you can have Punk and Cody. There's a story there. And you plant the seeds for WrestleMania 41 1 year in advance. You plant the seeds for both main events because it makes sense if you think about it. Roman and Rock next year, you set that up, you get the title out of the situation, which is what I think they should do before this match even happens. No title needs to be involved here. Roman can call himself the head of the table. The Rock can think he's the actual head of the table. You can do a Cena Rock type build from 2011, 2012, or it was the once in a
I
lifetime.
hear voices in the air.
That one. You can have that one. You can have that type build. Rock shows up once in a while. Have that sort of thing. And then on Raw or SmackDown or whatever, you can have Punk and Cody feuding for the world title going into WrestleMania. You can do it. It is doable, guys. I need to work for creative. Jeez. Triple H, hire me. I can help.
So yeah, that was it. That was it for the Rumble. Overall, what do you guys give the Rumble? I give it a B+.
I'll give it a 7.5 out of 10.
I'll give it an 8.
Now, let's get cooking here. As we wrap up the 3 Count Podcast, we're just going to ask a little rapid fire questions here.
Cool.
Do we get Jimmy J at Mania?
Quick answer, it's 3 letters and it's 1 syllable. Yes.
No, that's not the right answer. The right answer is yeet.
Well,
No yeet. Just
no,
yes.
no yeet to you. Yes.
No yeet. Yeet. Who's gonna have the best entrance at Mania this year? I'm gonna go Rhea Ripley.
Especially if Motionless and White play them out live. Play her out live? Absolutely.
Who is going to have the worst entrance at WrestleMania this year? I'm gonna go ahead and say it. It pains me to say this because I love him, but I think the worst entrance at Mania this year is gonna be Jay.
Why? Imagine seeing 70,000 people going like this. It's going to be insane.
That would be
Jimmy.
nuts.
Oh yeah, Jimmy. That's what I meant. I couldn't tell the difference for a second. Okay.
Oh my god.
Oh my goodness, because you're talking around.
Yeet.
Jimmy.
All right.
Jimmy.
Rhea Ripley's match at Mania.
It's going to be against Becky Lynch. It has to be. Is it not?
I would imagine it's against Becky.
Who does Randy face at Mania?
That is a really good question. Uh-oh. You have to have Randy in a premier spot. It's WrestleMania 40. Uh-oh.
Solo.
Well, that's boring.
Yeah.
Bullshit.
Hey, make it like a
I
multiplication
think. I mean, Cena came out and talked about his retirement. I think we get Orton Cena at Mania this year.
Cena's booked through May for movies. I don't think that's going to happen.
But 40th WrestleMania without Cena?
Yeah.
It happened before. That's like saying The Undertaker wasn't at WrestleMania 35. He wasn't.
Yeah, fair enough.
So I don't.
Fair enough.
I don't. Sure, would the match be
Maybe
awesome?
Randy versus Batista?
Why?
Who do you have Randy fight?
No.
Who do you have Randy fight?
That
Okay.
is a phenomenal question.
Drew?
The phenomenal one.
Again?
I
Again?
think it's gonna be Night Styles at Mania though. I
For the-
don't know who Orton's gonna face.
Because I don't want to see Randy in a mid-card match, but I don't want to see Randy involved in Roman and Cody or Punk and Seth. What the hell do you do?
What about Randy and Jay versus Jimmy and Solo?
Jay and Randy versus Jimmy and... That would also be kind of lazy, if you think about it.
I am at a loss right now. What you do with Randy?
It's a great question.
What do you do with Randy Orton?
Do you have him face, like...
Oh boy.
Tyler just you just saw a light bulb go off. He just had an epiphany.
He's rumored to come to WWE. Randy needs a match. Randy versus Okada at Mania.
If we're gonna do this, have Randy fight Braun Breaker and have Gunter fight Okada. That makes more sense. Okada wants to work WrestleMania. There's a match with Gunter there. Randy can get an upstart and Braun Breaker going. That makes sense.
Problem solved.
Bingo.
In the words of Gru, light bulb.
Like that.
Okay. What if Cody doesn't win?
Then the Royal Rumble is a complete waste of time.
Cody's gonna win.
Cody's got to win.
He's
Or
gonna
else-
win because if he
What if
didn't,
Punk
then they
loses to
wouldn't
Seth?
do anything.
Then the Rumble was a waste. There has to be 2 new champions. Punk and Cody have to win. I'm
Okay.
sorry.
Logan Paul Mania match.
LA Knight.
No, I think he's gonna face Styles. Honestly,
Maybe they do
I
LA
don't
Knight
know.
versus Logan Paul in Perth.
No, because Logan's got to face Kevin Owens. They have to finish the story with Kevin Owens there.
Finish the story.
Logan beats Kevin Owens, and then LA Knight challenges him.
What about
Where does Priest cash in at?
Chamber.
Successful or unsuccessful?
unsuccessful?
Well, hold on a minute.
Wait.
Hey, hang on a second.
I have an idea.
What
Priest successfully cashes in and then drops it to Seth on a random episode of Raw.
But then that would be stupid.
That would suck.
So here's the thing.
Take the mic, you can.
WWE introduced this a couple years ago. The idea of Priest cashing in on the U.S. or Intercontinental title. Have maybe Priest cash in on Logan Paul. Right?
Yeah, I like that.
Maybe have Priest cash in on Logan Paul and win the belt there. Because
And then do Priest versus Knight.
that would be fun. Priest and LA Knight. That could be a nice little mid-card match for night one.
Or Priest versus R-Truth for the United States Championship in Mania.
What would LA Knight do?
Knight versus Styles.
I think it's gonna be Knight versus Styles.
Ooh.
They are trending in that direction.
I'm pointing the mic towards him. Here we go.
Because of the fact that, Styles is all upset that you stepped over my broken body and tag team with Cena.
There you go.
This is why I'm so keen on Knight versus Styles. Now, personally, I would love if Knight, got his championship finally and beat Paul. That's what I would want. But for storytelling purposes, it makes much more sense. Unless Knight and Styles have a one-match at Elimination Chamber, it makes sense that they fight at Mania, ending the feud. And then maybe Knight goes after Paul for the U.S. title if Priest doesn't cash in or whatever the case may be.
Yeah.
Cool.
So,
I like it.
all right, again, Jade Cargill.
Bianca Belair.
Belair.
Bianca wins the match too. Do not have her lose to Bianca.
And have Bianca turn heel after that match.
Yes.
Jade needs to
Join
be-
the Street Profits and Bobby Lashley.
Well,
that
they're-
would be
well,
dope.
they're- well, they're
That's
focused
another
right
match
now.
I think is going to happen at Mania.
Final
Final
Testament.
Testament versus
Bobby.
Street Business.
As part
I
of the
think their name is
pre-show.
Pride, I believe is their name, which is interesting. I think that's their literal name is Pride.
All right, anyways.
Final Testament versus Bobby and the Street Profits. I think that could be a nice little match. They could make it elimination style. They could make it Texas Tornado.
Yeah.
They could do so many things with that. They could make it
Yep.
actually interesting. They can make it Wyatt Family Shield style if they actually build it right.
Yeah. So that will do it for the 3 Count Podcast from Sam, from Grant, and from Tyler Sumner here. We thank you for joining us, and we will see you guys next time.
Cody, finish the story. Please.
Bang.
Please finish the story. Thank you.